What's up, people? So, um, new background. So you can see there is serotonin here. I took a spray paint can and I just painted things on my wall, like graffiti. And this is piano. If you know, I am a pianist. I like to play the piano. I perform in shows as well. University shows in auditoriums. This is my whiteboard right here. This is random stuff. Like this is Ye mentality. You see YE here, Kanye. This is win. So then I have a Japanese alphabet here, which says do it. You know what I mean? Just raw art. So I was trying to practice some art. So I just took a spray paint, just kind of spray painted everything. Okay, so it's been a long time since I've made a video. Um, because I was traveling. I was in Mumbai last week for Lollapalooza. Linkin Park. I'm a big fan of Linkin Park. Kanye West. You already know I'm a Kanye West fan. Um, so I was traveling before which I was enjoying my holidays. I had some work to get done. I met a lot of people. In the last 1.5 month, I've been meeting people day in and day out, like almost every second or third day, on either video calls or in real life. I wrote a blog about certain things. If you've read it, I'll pin it in the description. Other than that, I really like my wall. I took the time to paint this piano right here. I know it's very raw, um, but I think this is the point of me, right? I'm raw. By the way, I got a new glasses as well. Uh, yeah, so I was thinking about talking about a new thing, which is the people's game. And I tweeted something about it. Um, and when I tweet, I take motivation from Kanye West. You know, I use Twitter as a notebook to write my thoughts, whatever is on my mind. I just like type it on Twitter. It takes a minute. But then rather than writing on a notebook, I use Twitter. And then people interact with those tweets. They comment, they support, they like, they share, which is amazing. So this is like the best use case of social media in my position, I would say, or at least how I understand Twitter works. It's just pure leverage. So I've always been using Twitter for leverage. I do not make money from Twitter. I've gotten offered a lot of money from Twitter to, not Twitter, I mean different protocols to make money to become a marketer, but no, that's not for me, right? uh, and therefore I don't want to associate myself with any marketing of any kind at this point in life. um, so therefore I use Twitter for pure leverage, which is leverage being me utilizing Twitter for my own thoughts. Since I don't have a company or a product right now, um, I'm not promoting anything. Well, that is the best use case of Twitter as well. So let's say if I from in some time, let's say I or you have a company, right? And you want to promote it. And there was this organization that I know really well, that is now utilizing Twitter for the best kind of purpose, right? They're using meme knowledge, they're using good popular trends to promote their product. Like Cluely did it. Cluely just went like just insane level of marketing, but you get the idea, right? So I think that's the way to use Twitter for marketing. I use Twitter for my thoughts. Like I said, people interact with it. People love my thoughts. Those who don't, I'm fine. Just unfollow me. Um, I mean, I don't want to be arrogant or anything like that, right? But I think that's the best use case of something like Twitter. Other than that, I had a lot of things in mind about which I'll be making more videos. I'm actually wearing this hoodie, and this hoodie is the one that I got from Singapore when I went for a hackathon 2 months back. Incredible hoodie, right? So this is like incredible, insane hoodie. And whenever I wear this hoodie, I just get creative, like insanely creative. Also, it fits me like really well. It reads token 2020-25 origins. Good hackathon. Um, we made money. Good food. Good people. Large number of politicians. Token like events like token. Singapore, or you know certain conferences, fancy conferences. Um, they invite all sorts of politicians, celebrities, you know, people like Trump's kids, Donald Trump's grandchildren, his kids. So it's like a political event, come, good food. Um, for me, it's fun. The takeaway is meeting lots of people, having fun, giving the hackathon. Uh, although that's not really interesting to me, but it's just more fun. The vibe is crazy. Uh, I get to have a 10-day trip, which was insane, right? It was good for me. Um, so that's about the hoodie. So I've seen that I'm picking like really random topics, but that's how life is, right? Life is random. I may sound very philosophical. That's just one side of how I sound. Um, and this is 1% of what my life looks like. Probably even less, right? So the people's game that I was talking about is that the more people I meet, the more I travel, the better my thinking becomes, right? And I become more complete as a human being, like I like to call it, because when I become more complete as a human being, I come to know tastes and opinions of different people, and it gives me the ability to grow in my head, right? So, like this molecule right here, serotonin, I believe is the best. It's my favorite neurotransmitter. I was reading about there was a paper on the functions of different neurotransmitters in a study on monkeys and how it works. So I was reading about this, and then I was discussing it with somebody else, and I was able to come to a very common conclusion. And we talked for long number of hours. Feels like therapy. Uh, Good exchange of thoughts. Uh, with people I like to call complete people. And I was having a a discussion with somebody who has now become close to me about certain things. And then the conversation went on for long hours. And that's when you know, right? The other person has a taste, an opinion, is not very insecure about certain things. People who are insecure are generally incomplete people, as I like to call them, and their thinking ability just gets biased, I would say. And therefore, it's important to have an open mind, um, and just approach life like it is meant to be done, right? So I was having long conversations with different people all these months. I do like to have them from time to time, and then I also like my own alone time because that's super important, right? So I was having this long conversation with people from SF, London, some people that I know, some new contacts that I made online through Twitter, in different Discord communities, some of whom have become my close friends at this point. And we value and trust each other, right? So, and people have been asking me on Twitter, how do we make these friends? Or how do you make these connections, right? How do you find people? Um, but again, it's like very personal and very subjective, right? What may work for me would not work for you. I could have found somebody from a YouTube comment sections comment by replying to them. Um, and that person would not be valuable to you because you and that person do not share the same bond as I and that person do. Similarly, I might have found somebody in a Discord community of some crypto network, right? So at the beginning of, let's say, 2025 or 2026 beginning, something like that, um, whom at this point I may like really value, and I might not value somebody whom I meet every day in person that much. So it's like very subjective. The people's game is like really subjective. You may not like the raw background behind me, but I might love it. And I'm going to put Kanye posters here, and here, because he's my favorite artist at this point in life. I'll also make a separate video about how you should take the positives from people like Kanye West, for the positives from people like Kanye West, Novel Ravikant, Balaji, few more people. Well, I have a lot of people on my list whose books I've read, or something like that. So even certain British authors. Um, so how you should take some good points from them and why you should listen to Kanye West particular soundtracks, certain music. Um, Not because it has really good production, like really good production, seriously good production, but also because the lyrics mean what this guy has been through or what he's telling us. He's telling us a story, right? And that's why you should listen to Kanye West. But I'll make a complete different video about that. Other than that, I have another thought in my mind, which is about YouTube videos, right? I've never done this before. I've always wanted to like YouTube videos. I made 2 or 3 videos on Twitter to explore what I said, my ability to make content. And it went successful. They became like viral immediately. People showed love. And therefore I thought, why not pivot to long form? Because, I can have a 10-minute talk with you, you know, may provide value, may not. You could just consider it as yapping, uh, and just extend my leverage from Twitter to YouTube, in a good way. That's what I'm saying. I just tell my story because I feel like it. Um, so I used to think that YouTube videos are like really hard to make, right? You have to take out separate time to make videos, edit videos. But now I think when I have no script, when I have nothing, um, then I can perform like really well because I can just shoot this video. I can click publish. This video reaches you. Insane amount of time saved, right? Um, no editing, one-to-one like conversation, right? So that's what I think it is. That's also the best way to use YouTube. No editing, nothing, no fancy production. I don't know how to do production, right? I can play piano, but I can play synth, I can play lead, but I cannot play production games. So just let it be raw for now. I don't know, maybe let's see what happens, but happy to share what's going on in my head, what's going on in my life, things that I'm working on, and just expect very different flavors of videos. Some video could be me working for 6 hours or anything. Things that I consider work could be just blabber to you, right? Um, but if you like it, let me know. I love good feedback. I love criticism. I love opinions. I love people with opinions. That's the thing, right? Everybody has to have a taste, an emotion, feeling. Ignore the wallpaper if you don't like it. It's not wallpaper, it's just spray paint, right? So just ignore if you don't like something. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you like. I like feedback. Yes, I like talking to people. This is my way of talking to people. This is my way of talking to you, right? So mm, let's go. Thumbs up for me. Thumbs up for you.